Welcome once again to Around the Conference. I'm your host, Paul Scavella, and today we'll be talking about Adventist Christian education. That is Seventh-day Adventist Christian education. Ellen White says that the work of education and redemption are one. And today we're just delighted to be able to highlight our educational institution, Bahamas Academy. Joining me at this time to lead out in this segment of Around the Conference is our Education Director, Mrs. Joan Scavella.
It is our pleasure to be the guests of Around the Conference, and with me today are the principal of Bahamas Academy, Mr. Milton Lewis, and a teacher, grade 6 teacher, Mrs. Juliet Sands. And as we start, I would like for you, Mr. Lewis, to give us a bit of your background and your professional experience.
Thank you very much, and it's a pleasure to be here this evening. My name is T. Milton Lewis. I am a graduate of Bahamas Academy, class of 1972. I graduated from West Indies College, now Northern Caribbean University, with a bachelor's degree in secondary education, and Andrews University with a bachelor's degree with a master's degree in school administration and supervision. I worked for the Bahamas government for 37 years on numerous family islands. My last post was District Education Officer, and I am pleased to be serving now as Principal of Bahamas Academy.
Wow, that sounds like a wealth of experience, Mr. Lewis. And Mrs. Sands, would you share a bit about yourself?
I am a 5th grade teacher at Bahamas Academy, and I've graduated from West Indies College, now Northern Caribbean University, with a Bachelor of Arts in Primary Education. And I also graduated from the same institution with a Master's of Education. I have been teaching for the past 26 years with Bahamas Academy, and I've really enjoyed it.
Bahamas Academy. Now, can you share a little of the background of Bahamas Academy in terms of what is offered there and how long the school has been in existence, Mr. Lewis?
Bahamas Academy is a staple in our Bahamian society, having been here for some 105 years. We have moved from various locations. Most people would know us as the school on Wolf Road, but God has been good to us. He has blessed, and we have moved into a modern building on Marshall Road. On Marshall Road, we have our elementary school as well as our high school. On Old Trail, we have our early learning center that caters to students from K2 to K5. At our primary school, we have grades 1 through 6, and at the high school, 7 through 12. We have all of the subjects in the elementary school: math, English, science, PE, Bible. We have all those subjects. And in the high school, from grades 7 to 9, they do all of the general subjects. When they move to grade 10, the senior schools, they specialize. And we have basically 3 options. We have the business department, we have science, and we have the technical. At Bahamas Academy, we try to cater to the needs of all of the students. And so there's no need for parents to say Bahamas Academy is deficient in certain areas. We have all of the offerings, and when they get to grade 10, they have the choice to choose what we call options. And so if somebody wants to go into the science department, they can choose science. If they want to business, they go into business. And we believe that our offerings are good. We have dedicated teachers who are prepared and who are working extremely hard to bring the desired success that we need. And so Bahamas Academy should be a school of choice for all of our Adventists and those who are not of our faith.
Good. So with all those offerings, are you saying that you can train any child to be an asset in any field?
The facts are there. You look at the professions that's within our country, and Bahamas Academy can boast of having students in all of those professions. We have persons who have graduated and are members of the Defense Force, the Police Force, carpenters, plumbers, doctors, lawyers, engineers, you name it, and
Wow.
Bahamas Academy produced it.
So are we saying then that Bahamas Academy is not faced with challenges, seeing that they can offer?
To getting sufficient funds to do all those things that we want to do. We are grateful to Bahamas government who gave us a subsidy. We are also grateful to the Bahamas Conference, South Bahamas Conference, who also help us. And then we have our faithful parents who provide children for us. And then there are other persons who give of their means. And so we do have challenges, but with God in our picture, we have weathered the storm over the years.
Good, awesome. Now, Mrs. Sands, as a teacher at Bahamas Academy, how would you describe your experience as a teacher there?
Being at Bahamas Academy was one of the best things that has ever happened to me. I have had the privilege to work in other places as a substitute teacher at other institutions. But what I like about it most, it keeps you spiritually grounded. First thing in the morning when you come to work, we have a lively teachers, staff on the whole, worship.
Wow.
So before anything happens, you meet the Savior before you meet the
Wow.
students. And that has been really powerful. And when you reach into the class, you have worship with your class.
Awesome.
And so it puts in sort of an icing on the cake. It's just a beautiful package. So whatever happens during the day, you are fueled up and you can meet your challenges head on because you've gotten your spiritual food.
For decades, Bahamas Academy has been offering powerful teachings that prepares you for this life and for heaven.
Sound education grounded in Christian values.
Physical education that contributes to the total being.
Teachers who keep ticking after the clock.
Amenities for healthy living and cognitive application.
An environment that exudes love and acceptance.
You will find warmth. You will find peace. You will find safety. You'll find affordable education.
Powerful teaching that prepares us for this life and eternity.
And we're back with Around the Conference, and we have in the studio our principal, Mr. Milton Lewis, and teacher, Mrs. Juliet Sands. Mrs. Sands, what are some of the success stories you have at Bahamas Academy?
Well, there's so many, but over the years, Bahamas Academy has really shone brightly in the community and also in the Bahamas at large, because we have had students who have done very well in the BJC and the BGCSE. And they have been recognized by the various, like for example, like the Ministry of Education, they've been recognized. And also as a school, we have recognized them. And in addition to that, a couple of years ago, with our sporting event, so to speak, the Bahamas Academy stars excelled where they won a championship. And we have been really shining over the years as a beacon of light in terms of academics and also in terms of the spiritual aspect of it. Within the classroom, we have had our success stories where there are students sometimes, you know, you are actually wondering what you're going to do with this particular student. And after talking and trying a number of strategies and techniques, you come to realize that, listen, this can work or this is not working. And sometimes when they come in September, you feel sort of dismayed. But as the year progresses, you will notice that they're picking up and they're studying more.
And the light bulb comes on.
And the light bulb comes on. And that is one of the greatest achievement a teacher can ever experience. A student that is down there, probably with picking a D when they come in, and they're leaving at least with a B. And, you know, and sometimes they come up with an A. And so, you know, it's a beautiful thing because all of your hard work would have paid off. And the parents, they really appreciate that effort because once all of us, you know, we're working together, you know, the student will achieve his or her goal. But I have to say, the best success story I have ever witnessed and been a part of, when we have our annual week of prayer, it's always a feeling that I cannot describe when you see a student, when they go up for baptism and they give their lives to Christ. And you have many of them going up and they are baptized. I would have to say, for me as a teacher, that is the greatest success story of all. And in turn, not only they get baptized, but they actually bring family members into the fold.
Isn't that awesome?
So it's just an awesome experience. And like I said, it's happened to me several times, and I cannot explain it because it's a joy, because that is what Bahamas Academy is all about.
So you're saying that you prepare those children not only for work on earth, but you prepare them for heaven.
Yes,
Isn't
Mrs.
that
Scavella.
awesome?
It is just awesome.
And that is the most ideal success story I think Bahamas Academy can offer.
Yes,
But
definitely.
in addition to that, outside of our school, on the national level, we have had a student who was the national primary school winner of all of the primary schools within the Commonwealth of the Bahamas. We have had students who became the national spelling bee champion here in the Bahamas. And so Bahamas Academy is not a school within itself. We have spread our wings to the outside, on the outside of Bahamas Academy, and indeed to the entire Bahamas.
So you're saying you cater to the mental, the spiritual, and the physical.
Yes.
And that is a rounded person.
Yes.
And in addition to that, also, we have clubs. So it's extracurricular activities too, because we have a ladies club, we have a gentleman's club, we also have the media club and debate club, and clubs, and they cater not to just say that we have clubs, but they actually train students in these particular areas, and it's going very well. So even if you want to send your child to Bahamas Academy, you can say to yourself, well, at least I know in grade 1 they could do drama club, in grade 2 they could go into cooking, and it's just a variety of things that can do. So we do cater to the whole child.
Praise the Lord. Now, Mr. Lewis, as we look at Bahamas Academy and what it is doing now, should we expect more?
Yes, Bahamas Academy is ever growing, and we're not satisfied where we are. We should be the head and not the tail. We have introduced our advanced placement program for math and English. We have 2 teachers who have been trained in that area.
Awesome.
And yes, and for the future, we expect to add other subjects to that. We expect to introduce it even at a lower level in our schools, because in so doing, our students, after they finish 12th grade, they should be able to go on and get some college credit. As we speak now, we have several students in our 12th grade who have 5, 7, and 9 BGCSEs.
Are you saying that your students are sitting BGCSEs before grade 12?
Some of them, most of them do it in grade 11, and they're very, very successful. And so with us putting in place the advanced program, we expect to attract even more students who will be able to take advantage of that. And then we look at, for the future, our agricultural program. This is something that I spoke about 2 years ago. We have now put this in our strategic plan, and we expect this to be on stream before 5 years, because our plan is for 5 years, and very early we expect that to happen. And so Bahamas Academy is on the move. We, as was said by my colleague here, that the basketball team was a force to be reckoned with. We're coming back. Mm-hmm. And so those who know BA Stars,
yes,
they will hear about BA Stars again. And so we have a number of things in the pipeline that we want to do for our school, and it's very exciting for us, and we want others to share in our excitement, and the only way you can do that is to become a part of us.
So you're saying Bahamas Academy is the home of the stars?
Home of the stars.
Wow.
Yes.
And
Shining stars.
do what?
And
Shine.
and not just only in sports, but we are well-rounded. And so we're going to shine in academics, we're going to shine in sports, we're going to shine spiritually. That is the mission of Bahamas Academy.
Okay, so you train the head, the hands,
And
the heart.
Yes.
And in so doing, what does the Bahamas Academy product looks like?
We want people to know that when you see Bahamas Academy, you're going to see somebody who is different, someone who is an upright student in society. When they're on their job, someone who is dedicated to giving, if it's given 60 seconds to a minute, 60 minutes to an hour on the job. You're going to find that our students are well-behaved, well-mannered, and when you see them on the street, you will be able to know that there's something different about that person. That child is a Bahamas Academy student. And it is similar with our teachers, our workers. We are committed, we are God-fearing people, and we believe that our job is not only here to train for this earth, but to train for the earth to come. And so Bahamas Academy product is different from anybody else's.
Wow, time has slipped by so quickly. But I'd like for you, each of you, to share with me something that will resonate with our audience.
I want to encourage parents who have not and who do not have children at Bahamas Academy to look at Bahamas Academy. Bahamas Academy is there to meet the entire need of all of our children. If you are not there, you're going to find that you miss out on something. Bahamas Academy has an environment that is different. Our campus is different from others. And so when you talk about violence, you're not going to find it on Bahamas Academy's campus. We are all loving family. And so parents, I invite you, let's take another look and send your children to Bahamas Academy, the school of the prophet.
Bahamas Academy is the best place for your child to be. You have a loving environment, you have teachers who are dedicated, you have students who will help one another. Bahamas Academy is not only just a school that is Christ-centered. However, we have academics and we have social aspects of our school, and we are inviting everyone to come and give it a try. You cannot go wrong. But we are so happy to be here today and just to encourage you to come and take a look. Take a look again at Bahamas Academy. You won't be disappointed.
Thank you so much, colleagues in education. Education is a great work. And a prolific writer once said, education and redemption are one. And these two educators, they are the epitome of Christ-centered education. Thank you so much, and may God continue to bless you.
It's our pleasure.
We will now break, and we'll be right back with
Bahamas Academy of Seventh-day Adventists is committed to helping students develop character through a personal relationship with Jesus Christ, promoting high standards of excellence and preparing students for service now and for eternity. Bahamas Academy aspires to train the head, heart, and hands of a child. Our goal is to provide a holistic education that will create the best citizens now, but more importantly, prepare students for a place in heaven. We aim daily to achieve this goal. With over 100 years of operation, Bahamas Academy is certainly an educational success story in many ways. Why not make us your school of choice?
And we're right back with Around the Conference, and our guest is Keturah Forbes. Keturah, tell us a bit about yourself.
My name is Keturah Forbes. I am the second child of Clayton and Victoria Forbes. I'm a grade 12 student of Bahamas Academy, and I have attended Bahamas Academy for about 12 plus years.
Wow, all of that?
Yes, ma'am.
Wow. So, have you sat any exams since you've been there?
Yes, ma'am. I've sat BJC as well as BGCSEs.
And how were they?
Good.
Oh, awesome. So you're a smart girl.
Yes, ma'am.
Good. All right. Now, you said you're the daughter of Victoria and Clayton Forbes. And that asks the question, why did your parents choose Bahamas Academy?
Bahamas Academy is Adventist education, and my parents, being proud Adventists themselves, decided that they wanted to send me and my siblings to an institution that has Seventh-day Adventist education. They also sent me there because it's a place that not only teaches me Seventh-day Adventist beliefs, but shows me why we believe what we believe. And also they wanted consistency, because at Bahamas Academy, the same thing that is taught at home is taught in school. So they wanted me to be well-rounded. Also, they have a beautiful academic program that allows the teachers really spend time with you and teach you things, and don't stop until you get it. And also, it's close to my house.
Oh, oh, that's a plus.
Yes, ma'am.
But you said your teachers go beyond the call of duty.
Yes, ma'am.
So that means if a child is having challenges, your teacher is prepared to stay extra time with you?
Well prepared.
They're well prepared?
Yes, ma'am.
Wow. Now that's a place I would have liked to be when I was a child. Now, which grade are you in, did you say?
Grade 12.
Grade 12, which means that you'll be graduating
in 2018.
Next year. As you think about Bahamas Academy and you're leaving, going on to college, and I'm sure that your school teaches you that you choose God first, then your career, then a life partner. Does your school teach you that?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes. So should you get married and have children, would you send your children to Bahamas Academy?
I would send my children to Bahamas Academy.
And why?
Especially because I'm Adventist, so I would like my children to be trained the way I was trained. And also I found family and also my spiritual education increased. Teachers like Mr. Wilmore taught me a lot about the Bible and Revelation. Teachers like Miss Bernard taught me about history. Teachers like Miss Smith taught me how to write and really dig into English and enjoy English. So I want them to have the same experience I had in growing up and me becoming the person that I am today.
Okay. So would you say that you find the activities at Bahamas Academy fulfilling? When you sit in a classroom, are you allowed to think? Are you allowed to interact in your classes?
Oh yes, ma'am, especially in Bible. Our teacher, Mr. Wilmore, he It gets us riled up sometimes and allows us to discuss and hear thoughts from other students and also him. And he really pushes us and allows us to think outside the box and what we would do, how we would do it, why we would do it. And especially with God, like he teaches us what to do by God, right by God.
You sound like a happy camper at Bahamas Academy.
Yes, Mom.
And you keep mentioning Bible, Mr. Wilmore. What is your favorite subject? It sounds like Bible, is it?
No, my favorite subject is biology.
Biology.
I like the human body and how it reacts.
Okay, so that takes me to, what do you want to study in college?
Hopefully medicine or something around medicine.
Okay, so you're now in the science field.
Yes, Mom.
Okay, now I want you to look in that camera and speak to a parent who's trying to make a decision to find a high school for their child, or a primary school, or a preschool, because Bahamas Academy starts at K2 to grade 12. So tell that parent who is searching for a school why they should choose Bahamas Academy.
Okay. Parents who have students at Bahamas Academy and who have students who they're looking to enroll in Bahamas Academy, I encourage you to send your children to an Adventist institution. Why? It's a safe environment. It teaches you about the Bible and what God says. You get family there, you create family, and it's real. They have week of prayer, so it's spiritual enrichment. So I encourage you, if you want your children to be successful, to send them to the great Bahamas Academy.
Thank you so much, Keturah. And our wish for you is that you will do very well in grade 12, and so that you will find your place in society, but most of all, be a part of God's kingdom. May God bless you. It was our pleasure talking and sharing with you on this program. And remember that education is more than the pursuit of a certain course of study. It has to do with the whole existence possible to man. And so as we tune out, join us next week at the same time on Around the Conference. This is Joan Scavella. Good evening.